Yes. All right, we are live.
Yes.
Fantastico.
Yes, we are. How's everyone doing out there today?
Hey guys, how are you?
Today is Friday, April 7th. It's 12 o'clock. And my name is John Gardner. This is my law partner and wife, Radlin Mendoza. And we are the immigration law firm,
Hey,
Gardner
guys.
and Mendoza. We come to you every Friday from 12 to 1 to give you immigration updates and to answer your immigration questions. How you doing?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. John almost didn't make it. He was in court this morning. And thankfully
That's
he
right.
is here.
That's right. A rare appearance in court for me.
Doing a live stream without my husband is just no fun at all.
Well, I'm happy to hear
That's
that.
not true. I mean, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I have fun with you guys, but at least I have someone to talk to, you know?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're just kind of talking into
absolutely. This is
talking to
something we do
ourselves.
together. Hello to everybody out there. Usually my nephew Daniel James is watching. So Daniel James,
shout out to Dan. How's it going, bud?
He's Dan. He was Dan for many, many years. He just turned 25 on Tuesday, but he advised me that he wants to go by Daniel James now. So I guess he's decided that's.
Should we abbreviate? We're not going to abbreviate that either.
Has more gravitas.
Anyway, DJ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Daniel James, if you're watching, good to see you. And we're just waiting for some people to load up here. I also want to say hi to
who's locked and loaded right now.
Our whole TikTok crew over here. So we come to you on Facebook Live from noon to 1, but we also simulcast with TikTok, and we have a lot of folks already joining here over on.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, hold on a second.
Technical.
No. Well.
All right.
Thea said she shared your live, so I was just trying to share our live, but obviously a fail.
So those of you on TikTok, get your questions loaded up there.
How's it going, guys?
I would ask you on TikTok if you could just post your question once. That's be super, super helpful, because when people put their questions in TikTok over and over and over again, it creates a big queue of questions and total chaos. And then it's really hard for me to find. And then you lose the question, right? Yeah, exactly. So the best way to get your question addressed today is to just post it once, and we just go in the order that they come in. And of course, if you can get over to Facebook Live, that's even better, because then we can post the question in writing on the screen.
Yes, all right. Absolutely. And happy Easter weekend to everyone. Yeah. Happy Passover for those who are observing. And happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Fridays hit differently, don't they?
They do hit differently.
Hit different.
They hit, yeah, that's right. They hit different. I mean, we have 3 daughters, and I don't know. I feel like I've spent a lot of my time turning their adjectives into adverbs, but they just don't seem to want to do it. So that's fine. It hits different. It hits different.
Friday hits different. So we're super excited to be here. Hello to Miss Evelina, Thea, Joe. Joe has a question. Joe already has queued the question up. And for those of you on TikTok who want to queue your questions up, please do so right now.
Yep.
And we will just hop to it.
But before we hop
like
to
the
it,
Easter Bunny.
Yeah, I thought that was really clever. Good job.
I didn't even know.
I know.
No, that was the entertaining part of this.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just going to say. Before we get to any of the questions, I do want to warn everyone, advise everyone that what we do here is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Okay?
Not legal advice.
Not
That's
legal advice. All right.
All right. With that said, let's put Joe's question up.
Yeah, let's just get right to it.
So Joe put his or her question up multiple times. It's probably like a slip of the finger.
Yeah, it happens.
Anyway. All right, Joe. Joe says, I filed my husband December 2021 as an LPR, lawful permanent resident. I recently became a U.S. citizen. Congratulations. That's awesome. Very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
How long do I have to wait for approval? I'm from California. So the first step is to, number one, find out where your case is. Is it in the California Service Center? Is it in Vermont? Is it in Texas? So you can find that out from your I-130 petition receipt. And this goes for everyone. This is how you look to see where your service center is, okay? And once you find that out, you can look up case processing times for that service center. And instead of looking at the case processing times for the spouse of a lawful permanent resident, what you would do is look up the processing times for the spouse, excuse me, of a US citizen. So it's generally going to be shorter approval time. I don't know how long it's going to take just because I haven't looked up the processing times and I don't know what the service center is, but that is how you can find that information out. And another thing is, Joe, please make sure that you update USCIS and let them know that you are now a US citizen, and that way your case is going to get funneled into the right category. Okay, so I hope that helps. Congratulations on becoming a US citizen. Here's to having your I-130 petition approved faster. That's not always the case. It depends on the service center, but first and foremost, you do need to notify the service center, and that service center is going to be on your I-130 petition receipt. All right. Joe says thank you.
Cool. All right.
What do we have on TikTok?
Lynn over here on TikTok says happy Friday. Happy Friday, Lynn.
Happy Friday.
And people join us from all over. Our office is physically located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, which is on the East Coast of the United States. But we have clients all over the United States. We have clients all over the world. And we have a lot of folks that join us from all over the world on TikTok and on Facebook as well. So welcome, everyone. So the first question that comes up here is a question we get from time to time about traveling. Don't have a green card, living in the U.S. Can I take a plane to Puerto Rico for a vacation?
Wait, sorry, can you read that again?
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I was. I was in another world.
That's okay. That's all right.
Actually, I was reading another question. I'm going to focus on the question at hand.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. Sorry about that.
So quick question is, don't have a green card, living in the U.S., want to take an airplane to Puerto Rico for a vacation.
What do you have?
Yeah, that's fine. No, that was going to be my follow-up question as
listen,
well.
Guys, here is an old story from maybe 15 or 17 years ago. And this was not our case. It was one of my colleagues' cases. And her client traveled to Puerto Rico. Was it Puerto Rico? It was either Puerto Rico or the US Virgin Islands, but I think it may have been Puerto Rico. And he had a pending green card case through his spouse of a US citizen, and did not yet have the advanced parole. And he got stuck. He got stuck in Puerto Rico. So I don't know if that's the same now, but Puerto Rico, some people, I have recently heard, this is not my joke. I said, okay, Puerto Rico is the 51st state. It is not a state, right? So if you travel to Puerto Rico, you may be subject to immigrant. I mean, we've recently been to Puerto Rico. They're not checking that documentation, but I just wouldn't risk it if you don't have lawful permanent resident status, and maybe you have a non-immigrant status that would allow you to do that. But definitely do your due diligence.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming onto our live and asking that question. I would not recommend at all traveling to Puerto Rico if you are. I don't know if this is the case or not, because that's if you're undocumented. So
yeah, we get a fair amount of travel questions, and even with our own clients, we are very careful with travel.
Yep.
All right. So if you do have an immigration lawyer, and you're just checking us out for fun, you may want to consult with them about the situation before you travel. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are risks involved. There's no question about it. Once you leave the country, coming back in can sometimes be a problem. Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Thea says, how soon can a tourist visit the U.S. again if the tourist stayed for 5 months? Tourist is coming from Canada under the student visa. So if you're coming in on a student visa, then you're coming in on a different basis than when you're coming from Canada, you don't need a visa. So if you're coming in on a student visa, then I think you can, the person can just come into the United States using that student visa. It's a different status than the tourist stay. Hopefully that makes sense, Thea, if you need any more clarification. But I think the general question is, okay, I have someone here, or I have been in the United States for 5 months on a visitor's stay or a tourist visa, or how long can I stay here? And then how long do I have to stay back in my country before I can come back and visit again? Now, here you're coming back in on a student visa, so that's not quite applicable. But there's, I mean, it's not the guide. There are some guidelines out there, but CBP, Customs and Border Protection, if you're getting inspected, they don't necessarily stick to those guidelines. When you come into the United States on a non-immigrant category, such as a tourist visa, then you need to show that your stay here in the United States is for the purpose that you say it's going to be, that you do have the intent to return back to your country. That's the main thing. So hopefully that helps. And if you can clarify anymore, if I didn't answer that question, go right ahead and put it in the comments.
Yeah. Okay, and Eric over here, you may want to also follow up. You said the question is, can prima facie cover my apartment lease or utilities? I'm not sure.
Is that
What
VAWA or
yeah, I'm not
sure.
What the question is there. So if you could give us a little more detail. And Bugwell 2020 wanted to know, can my partner divorce me without consent? I don't know where you're located, but family law is governed by state law.
Yeah.
So what the rules are in terms of contested or uncontested divorce is going to depend on what state you're in. So you're going to need to follow up with a family law attorney in the state where you live. See what the possibilities are there.
Yeah, because sometimes there can be divorce and you don't know where the person is. And so it's divorce and you have to do a publication. So, but every state is different, as John said. Immigration law is federal law. The immigration law is the same in every single state, but there are different nuances with things like family law, criminal law, contracts law. So, but federal immigration is federal.
That's right. And that, so for example, if you have family law issues, but you mentioned criminal as well, sometimes if you have a criminal conviction or criminal charges, it can affect your immigration case. And it may not be the same from state to state, depending on it all has to do with how your state charge lines up with the federal law. So if you do have, this is a total, nobody asked about this, but I'm just going to provide this anyway. If you have any criminal convictions or criminal charges and you're in an immigration process or you are getting ready to start an immigration process, you really, really should consult with us about that, because there are a lot of dangerous pitfalls that can come with criminal charges. All right. I mean, you should consult with us anyway, regardless, but especially if you have criminal charges, because it complicates an already complicated immigration process, becomes even more complicated if there are criminal charges or convictions to deal with. All right.
Sound recommendation. That is actually advice, but anyhow.
Not legal advice. It's good advice.
It's good advice. That's right. Okay, Joe has another question regarding a petition filed for, I'll put it up. My brother filed a petition August 2022 for my mom. He is a U.S. citizen. How long do we have to wait for approval? I checked my estimated time. It says 5 months. When I checked it again, it went to 8 months, California. So yeah, so Joe, again, you're doing the right thing by checking how long cases are taking in your particular service center where the I-130 petition is. And the problem here, it's not a problem, but the reality is that the California service centers can take longer than what was posted 3 months ago. So time can be added on as far as, how long is it going to take? How long is it going to take? And, you check it and it says 5 months. it's hard to say how long it's going to take if they keep moving it, but the USCIS case processing times is a good guideline. This was filed in, fairly recently, almost a year ago. No, never mind. Almost a year ago, 18 months ago. Yes. And again, you just have to keep watching that USCIS case processing times. And for those of you who have an I-130 petition pending, don't forget that and you're doing consular processing, don't forget that after your I-130 petition is approved, that is not the end of the case. That is not the end of the journey. You still have to go through National Visa Center processing, and you still also have to go through the scheduling for an interview, which, as we've mentioned for a year now, is extremely backlogged. So please be patient. And I hate saying that. I'm not saying that in any type of, I'm not saying it in a way that I make be patient, like our parents say it, but it's more of like, you kind of got to hold on, because this is the reality that these cases are taking twice as long, or sometimes even 3 times as long as before, and what you may have experienced for your own cases. So it's not the same game anymore. It's a waiting game. It's a longer waiting game. So hang in there. Instead of saying be patient, I'm just like, hang in there. You got this. All right. But I'm glad that your brother petitioned for your mom. That's great for a start.
Yeah. Okay. We got another question here that maybe we need you to fill out for us. The question was, is it okay to book a one-way plane ticket only for visitors, visa holder?
Yeah. So I believe the question here is, you have a visitor's visa and you're coming to the United States, and you're going to go, let's just say you come through Dulles in Washington, D.C., and you have come and you only have proof that you have a one-way ticket. So your question is, hey, does it look like I'm going to stay and never go back to my country? Are they going to allow me in with just a one-way ticket? I mean, there are a lot of reasons why people book a one-way ticket. It might have been a good deal. Maybe your plan is to stay here for 5 months, and then you don't really have a hard departure date. The one-way ticket by itself does not necessarily mean that they're not going to allow you to come and enter the United States, but it is a determining factor as to whether they're going to allow you to come into the United States. So we have to look at all the other factors. I mean, are you employed back home? Why do you only have a one-way ticket? What's your reason for that? What are your plans here in the United States? Do you have family members? Do you have close ties to your country? Are all of your families here in the United States? Do you have a U.S. citizen spouse waiting for you here in the United States? So there are many, many factors that go into that. So, but that by itself, and if you have really strong ties to your country, and there's a valid reason as to why you only booked a one-way ticket, you'll probably be okay. But again, that there are many factors to that. And I'm not saying come travel and you're going to be fine. What I'm saying is there's a whole story here. There's a whole picture, and Customs and Border Protection may get into it, or they may not. It is Friday. I'm feeling good on a Friday, Easter weekend. I think it's time to reintroduce ourselves again, because we have more people on the call and we have more people joining on TikTok.
That's
My
right.
name is Radlyn Mendoza, and this is my husband and law partner, John Gardner. We started a law firm 22.5 years ago called Gardner Mendoza. Our office is physically located on the East Coast of the United States in Virginia Beach, Virginia. We serve clients all over the world in all 50 states. And we're super happy to be here to answer these great questions that we're getting. And when you put a question up, just know that you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping other people who have questions like yours. Anyhow.
And also, when the question gets answered, just know that it's not legal advice. It is for informational and educational purposes only.
That's right. John, that he
I'm the compliance officer.
He is. I was just gonna say he's the heavy. Anyway, all right, but it's great to be here. And
Yeah.
we've got thanks for the love,
Oh,
TikTok.
yeah. Wow, look at that. Nice.
Yeah, I don't. That was. Oof.
I've never seen that one before. That's cool.
That makes me want to just shut it all down and go celebrate.
That's right.
Just got a big giant heart served on a platter to us, or in the universe. Anyhow, all right. Is it my turn to read a question?
It is.
Okay.
We've got plenty over here if you want to.
No, I gotta grab Manuel here.
Mhm.
Manuel
All right.
says,
Aw.
"Oh, new baby!
Sweet.
Congratulations." Manuel says, "You guys helped me with my residency. Yay! Pat on the back. Pat on the back to us."
Pat on the back.
This is the entertainment part of our show, by the way.
That's right. We've added entertainment.
And I like to mention that John and I are married because we do sit awfully close to one
Yeah,
another.
and sometimes we even have an arm around each other.
Yeah. Okay. So Manuel says, "You guys helped me with my residency, but I would like to become a U.S. citizen. I've been holding my residency for over 6 years. What do I need? And can I help my mom and my stepdad?" So Manuel, what you need is to give us a call.
Yeah.
And this is a little known fact, and maybe we should just make it known. We do charge $275 for a consultation, but for a former client like Manuel does not have to pay a consultation fee if he's coming back to us as a client. And if he's coming back to us, even just to ask an immigration question about a family member. So it is a perk of being a client of Gardner Mendoza that we like to say client for life, in the sense that, Manuel, you can call our office and just book an appointment with me, and it will be free of charge. And I'll be happy to go over your whole file and look at what the requirements are, any particular requirements are for you in your particular case. But you've been a green card holder for 5 years. What we would need is to just ask you a few simple questions when I get on the phone with you about your travel history. Hopefully you haven't gotten into any trouble over the years as a permanent resident here. I'm sure you haven't. And go from there. But at the bare minimum, guys, with regard to applying for U.S. citizenship, we would need the front and back copy of your green card, as well as a copy of your driver's license or any type of state ID, just to make sure that you have been living in the jurisdiction where your case is going to end up. Travel history, any criminal record history, but all of these things we ask during our consultation and make sure you are eligible for it. So Manuel, we're super excited for your new baby, as we can see there, and for you to apply for U.S. citizenship. And to answer your other question of whether you can help your mom and dad, it depends on where mom and stepdad are. And once you become a U.S. citizen, then yes, you can file a petition for your mom. You can petition for your stepdad if your mom and your stepdad got married before you turned age 18. If they did not get married before you turned age 18, you're not going to be able to petition for stepdad. But what that looks like is, once you got U.S. citizenship, you would then petition for your mom, and then mom would come and immigrate to the United States. As soon as she arrived here, she would petition for her husband, and that's how it would go. So anyway, a lot of information there. Manuel, thanks for joining us here on Facebook, but you are free. You have a free ride to call our office anytime because you are a client for life. All right.
And anyone else out there who may be becoming a U.S. citizen, doing an oath ceremony, Radlin is a frequent speaker at the naturalization oath swearing in ceremony in the Norfolk Federal Courthouse. So
it's fun.
Keep an eye out for her. You may see her.
I'll be there in June again. So I'm excited. I'm thinking about reworking my speech, and John, only because I've been telling the same story, but
it's a great story.
John says, look, it's a great immigration story, and it is a great immigration story. I'm not going to say that I'm tired of repeating the story, but sometimes you get tired.
You never mess with perfection.
It's not perfect, but it's good. You're sweet.
Okay,
all right. Okay.
We move on.
We are at the halfway mark here. We're here from 12 to 1. p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We changed our time from Wednesday nights 8 to 9. It just works better for our schedule. I'm glad to see all of you guys here and that you're able to make it. And for those who watch this later, thank you for watching the re-recording and being here as well.
Hello to those of you who are just tuning in. You were scrolling through Facebook and then you came across this and you started watching and realized, oh, this was from 3 weeks ago. Hello, you. Okay. Let's see. Here's a question over here. After approval of the I-130, I have to fill the form out right away, or can we wait? I'm not sure
what form.
Yeah, I'm not sure what form they're talking about.
Once your I-130 petition is approved, then if you're abroad, your case is going to go to the National Visa Center. And at that stage, you are going to pay the fee bill of $445 if it's just you, and complete the DS-260 form. If the question is, hey, do I have to jump right in that and pay the money and fill out that form right away? The answer is no, you don't have to fill it out right away. And when I think about right away, I think about, within the next month or two. So I'm not sure what your definition of right away is. Maybe you're thinking like right away to you is like, do I need to fill this out tomorrow? No, you don't have to fill it out right away or even, in a month. So if you need clarification on that, or if you need help and you're going through the National Visa Center process, please give us a call. National Visa Center processing is the worst part of a consular processing case.
Right.
Because
I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's just a lot of waiting. There's a lot of uploading. It's all electronic. You've got to complete that affidavit of support, and you have to hang in there.
Yeah, hang in there. That's right. And I was just going to say, for those of you on TikTok, on Facebook, you can see our information scrolling along the bottom there. But for those of you on TikTok, again, our phone number, if you want to reach us, is 757-464-9224. Or you can email us at info@gmlaw.net. All right.
Yes, we'd be happy to hear from you. Our consultation fee, I don't know if you mentioned this in the last second or so, but our consultation fee is $275. All consultations are through virtual Zoom video consultation, even if you are in the Hampton Roads area or in the vicinity. It just is, we found it to be really convenient for all parties involved, and you get the same information, and it's great. We love it. And our clients do too.
Right. Your case is a big step. It's an important step, and it's definitely worth the time and a little bit of money to make sure that you're off on the right foot. Or if you'd prefer to just hand it off to us and have us take it over for you. All right.
And another thing is that, our whole career and lives for the past 22 plus years has been helping people just like you guys get lawful permanent resident status, get U.S. citizenship, get lawful permanent resident status for your family members, get employment visas, H-1Bs. I mean, we've done this for decades now. And we've seen a lot. We've seen great things. We've seen really terrible things. The bottom line, my point to this whole, soliloquy speech is that it doesn't have to be us, guys. I mean, find a reputable immigration attorney who you are comfortable with, who is going to spend the next 2 to 4 years with you on your immigration case. Now, when we used to file immigration cases or say marriage adjustment cases back in the day, the good old bad days, they would be done in 6 to 8 months. But now we're talking about a couple of years. So, you got to go. It's totally worth it to have a reputable immigration law firm, preferably a law firm that really just focuses on immigration, has its own division of immigration attorneys to do your case for you. Because when you say, oh my gosh, I can't afford this immigration lawyer, let's say they quoted $15,000 for, petitioning for my spouse and 2 stepchildren. That's $15,000 over the next 4 years, probably. We're talking about a fiance visa or
Right.
something like that. So, well, not a fiance visa if it's your spouse and your stepchildren, a marriage visa. But guys, it's just too important, and you will be extremely stressed out for 4 years if you don't have a professional handling your case. Okay, end of speech. Unless you want to add another word or two, but let's
No.
grab a question. Or is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Is it?
It is, but I
Okay.
can grab a question here as well.
Okay, Ivan says, I got divorced recently. Do I need to inform USCIS about our divorce? Well, I mean, it really depends on if you are a lawful permanent resident and you have a 5-year green card. Well, let me just back up a little bit. If you got your green card through your spouse and you have not yet removed the conditions on your green card, your 2-year green card, then when you file that I-751, yes, you will have to inform USCIS that you are divorced. If you got your green card from your spouse and it's been now 5 years and you've removed the conditions, if you had to do that, then no, you don't necessarily have to inform immigration about your divorce. When you file for citizenship, which I hope that you do, then that's a point in time where you would be informing USCIS about your divorce when you file for citizenship. And of course, you have to inform them about your divorce if you file for citizenship. Definitely don't hide the ball about anything, guys, when you file for US citizenship. And, you know, I don't know if you have a specific scenario, but if you do, you know, you may have to, you may not, but those are the specific things that I'm thinking about with regard to informing USCIS about your divorce.
Yeah, don't try to hide the ball when you're applying for citizenship. That's a
or
bad move.
or anything.
You just,
If you're applying for anything, don't try to hide the
yeah,
ball.
I mean they know, and so if you got a reckless driving ticket in North Dakota 2 years ago, they know.
They know.
All right.
Yep. They know, and if you try to hide the ball, then your case will get denied.
Right.
Okay, your turn.
What do they say? The cover-up's always worse than the crime.
The cover-up is, oh my gosh, that couldn't be more true with immigration. The cover-up is worse than the crime, guys. That is true. All right. Rock and roll.
All right. So this is just a comment that I just heard from my friend. He said that they now that they're waiving interviews for simple cases for green cards.
Yes. So they are waiving interviews for cases for green cards. That is correct. And it has changed the process a little bit, specifically with marriage cases. Okay. So employment-based adjustment of status interviews, those interviews were waived for many, many years, and then they came back and now they're waived again. But marriage-based cases, there was always an interview. Those were never waived until recently. And when I say recently, in the last, year. And the way that it has changed the filing of our immigration cases and the way it's going to change the filing of your immigration cases is that you need to submit all of the bona fide marriage documentation all up front. That can be good. That can be bad. If you just got married yesterday and you just met your spouse yesterday and you just got married yesterday, I don't recommend that, by the way, you are not going to have a lot of bona fide marriage documentation. And when we talk about bona fide marriage documentation, we talk about joint taxes, joint bank account statements, a lease, joint credit cards, joint financial documents primarily, and the fact that you guys are living together. So it's generally good. And sometimes we wait strategically to file something so our clients can get some of their documentation together, especially if they've just gotten recently married. So that is correct about that.
Mm-hmm.
That interviews are being waived. It's generally pretty awesome.
It can be pretty awesome if you've got all this, if you're in that small category where everything is lined up right. You may be lucky, like Art here, who he said start to finish, our I-130 and I-485 was approved in 9 months, and the interview was waived so fast.
That is
So,
true. That's awesome.
good for you. That's it's not always that way, but when it is, it's
It's fantastic.
It's a thing of beauty for sure.
Yep. And the key again is to just don't file a crappy case.
Right. See, Art didn't file a crappy case.
Yeah, no, he didn't. Art, let us know if you filed a crappy case and still got approved in 9 months, and then I'll be eating crow. But generally speaking, do not file a crappy case. And when I mean crappy case, I mean a sloppy case, a case with no bona fide marriage documentation, a case where you have documents missing, a case where it's just not ready to be approved. I probably shouldn't have said crappy case. I'll regret that.
Everyone knew what you meant.
I know, but okay, let's see here. I'm not going to put Abdullah's question up, but I am going to read Abdullah's question, and that is our next question. Wait, is this?
Yeah, you can put it up there. You think because it's going to cover us? Yeah, but look at that.
Oh, yeah, it's the Eiffel Tower. Nice. Cool. All right.
Here we can just.
We're short. Mother has pending green cards, been 1 year. Son is 17 years old. He was paroled to the United States from Afghanistan. Not has been 5 months left to get expired for son's paroled status. He has option of asylum. What recommendation do you have to wait until mother gets the green card and mother petition for son? Okay, so Abdullah, I'm kind of getting your question here. The gist of the question is mom has her son, and we're not sure what the best route for 17-year-old son is with regard to his immigrating to the United States, either permanently or temporarily. Abdullah asks about asylum. He asks about getting paroled. He asks about mom filing this I-130 petition for her son once she gets her green card. And the answer, unfortunately, is I don't know what the best option is. This is a type of case where, well, a scenario. I mean, all of these are cases where we want to sit down with you, get the whole history, and be able to spend an hour with you to find out what the best options might be for mom and son going forward. But it's an awesome question because I think it highlights just all the different things that can be done here and what is the best option and how to manage this set of facts and scenario.
Yeah, the benefit of a consultation is that not only will you gain an understanding of the best option to do. That's not the best sentence that I've ever created, but it is what it is. But also what not to do. Sometimes what comes out of a consultation is a warning, don't do this, because if you do, that's going to trigger a major, major problem for you. So again, you should definitely consult with somebody before you start your case. I know many of you don't. I get that. I used to do our own taxes for years. I filed our own taxes. And then I finally hired a professional CPA to do them and realized that if I had been using the CPA all along, all the money that I thought I was saving by doing them myself, I actually was losing money. It would have been better to have the CPA from day one, but lesson learned.
I'd probably have a new wardrobe had you let the CPA.
I know. Yeah.
Now I'm just wearing.
I was like saving $300 when if I could have used the CPA, I would have saved us like $3,000. But
lesson learned.
Lesson learned. That's right. Okay.
And I think that we all kind of do this, and I'm going to even say, and I don't want to offend anyone here, but I'm going to even say among the immigrant community, we like to get stuff done ourselves because we want to save the money. I'm definitely a self-doer, a self-trier, I should say. Like I want to try to fix the problem myself first before, I go and hire a professional to do it. And then sometimes I'll get knee deep into the project. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is way more than I bargained for. but that's just kind of the mentality. And I'm flat out saying, don't do that. Don't do that for your immigration case. Don't do that for your taxes. Don't do that for your website. Don't do that for your business, because it is not profitable, guys.
It's not.
It really isn't. Anyhow, so little side note there.
Side note, that is
Abdullah,
advice.
great question. We would love to consult with you on this. I would love to unlock the facts of your brother and mom's case, because we talk about the facts of the case, but this is a family, right? It boils down to, this is a mom who wants to make sure that her son, who's 17 years old, he's still a minor, is following the very immigration path that he needs to follow it. And as a parent, I'm sure mom wants him to follow the easiest path, the least resistant path. And who can blame her for that? So Abdullah, if it is your mom and brother, have them give us a call. 757-464-9224. You guys can actually call our office now, because it is open. It's
That's right.
12 p.m. Well, it's almost 1.
All right. Question over here from Jose. Requested FOIA for my I-485. My case was sent to NRC from FO. Is that normal?
Is it normal? I before it was approved, I would say it's a little. I think that it's a little bit off the beaten path, but not necessarily.
He added a little more down here. A little bit. Said they said my case is not in FO anymore and sent to NRC due to the FOIA requests for the I-485.
Oh, okay. Well, then that does make sense. I would just be interested to know why the case just wasn't approved at the field office. So, yeah.
All right, and really quickly here, Erica says, my husband and I finally filed for my N-400. The thing is, I don't work. Is that going to be a problem?
So she filed for her citizenship?
My husband and I finally filed for my N-400.
Gotcha. So she has filed for the N-400, and her question is, I am unemployed, or I do not work outside of the home. All adults work inside of the home, but they may not work outside of the home. And no, that is not a bar to getting your citizenship if you are not working. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah.
And that's a frequently asked question. I'm glad that you asked that question, because we've heard it, but just we have not been able.
Okay, you got this.
Yeah. Good luck on that. We just haven't had the question on live, but I get that question all the time. Okay, Rosalie just is saying hello. She says hi from the Bay Area. It's good to see and hear from you both of you again. I'm glad that I'm off today to show my support. We're glad that you're off today too, Rosalie. Thank you for always sharing your knowledge with us. Mabuhay po kayo, and more blessings to come. And more blessings to you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Love.
Thank you for that.
Love the shout out. Appreciate it.
We were in the Bay Area. What was it, last summer?
Yeah.
It was last summer.
I think we talked to Rosalie about it. And is that a cute puppy?
Spent some time in San Francisco and then drove out to Yosemite for a week. It was, if you haven't done that before, it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
All of it was beautiful.
We are hikers.
We are. Yeah. We hiked all over San Francisco and then we hiked all over Yosemite.
We are reluctant hikers. Not reluctant, just kidding.
Well, no, we just, our children love to do it. And so they prod us. And then once we're out there, we're like, oh, wow, this is absolutely
we should do this
amazing.
more often.
We should do this all the time, but we don't until they make us do it again.
Okay, we're getting some stars. Shout out to Rhea, who is joining us today as well. She is our marketing person, our marketing manager, and she has put a comment if you guys want to join our Live Love immigration group, which is the link is there. We would love to have you there. We've got about, I think, maybe 600 people in the Live Love immigration group. All right. Manuel says, awesome. Thank you so much. I'm still holding your business card and I stay straight. I'm working at NASA. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Oh,
nice. That's cool. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you see one of our clients is working at NASA?
I mean, yeah. As my dad used to say, way cool.
Way cool. That's awesome.
All right. Let's see here.
Okay, Ivan recently, I mean, not recently, he previously asked, "Hey, I'm getting a divorce. Do I have to inform immigration?" Ivan is a US citizen, so no, you do not have to inform immigration.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Going back, Ivan had asked the question. No, as a U.S. citizen, Ivan, you don't. Yeah,
This is a really,
I was going to say you don't have to do anything, but that's not entirely true. But you don't have to advise them of that.
yeah.
All right.
You want to grab a question there? I've got a couple of really good ones here.
Okay, go ahead and grab them.
Okay. No. We're doing every other.
Yeah, I was trying to work through because there was a lot of the follow up for that last question. I'm trying to see where we are.
Okay. So Mark says, I live in Illinois, but I got the 797C, which is receipt notice, from Potomac Service Center and not Nebraska. Is that okay? Yes, guys, this is a great question, Mark. Thank you so much for asking it.
Yeah.
Your case, when you file something, can go to any of the service centers, not necessarily the one that is closest to you. So we're here on the East Coast. A lot of our cases will end up on the West Coast, and we're always bummed out about it. But it can happen because usually it's longer processing times. So Mark, hang in there. Nebraska has the best processing times. Let's see. Oh, whoops.
Yeah, this is a separate issue.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
But yeah, it's a totally random thing. I know what you're thinking. Like if you live in New Hampshire, you would think that it would go to Vermont since it would just be a short 3-hour drive over, but it may not. There's just no rhyme or reason to it, and that's just how it is. I won't make any more comment about that. I'll leave that.
Is that how that's how the coin? What is the coin toss? I don't know either. What do we have there? Any other questions?
With the tourist visa, will they allow if you stay for 4 months on a 6-month allowed to stay?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's more to that, but that's Okay.
So the question is, you come in on a tourist visa, and generally speaking, I mean, and there are, of course, sometimes this is not always the case, but generally speaking, you're going to get 6 months, right? Entry, a 6-month stay in the United States. The question is, can he or she stay for 4 months? The answer is yes. Okay. So David from YouTube, hi, they moved my case to USCIS local office. Is this good or bad, or why does this happen? So David, depending on the type of case you have, I mean, you probably have a marriage-based adjustment case. And yes, it is good for your case to be going to the field office. If your case goes to the field office, they may then issue you a request for evidence if you didn't submit bona fide marriage documentation, if it's a marriage case, or if you didn't submit a medical. Then this is the point where they would ask you for that and hopefully approve. But it is forward movement for your case. Generally speaking. All right.
We have some folks here that are either just Filipino or joining us from the Philippines or both. I know that because one is Happy Friday Po, one is Hello Po. The Po is a dead giveaway.
Hi guys, how are you?
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I have any more questions here on Facebook.
Oh, and the question that you just asked was here on Facebook, and it jumped over.
All right. David, is it David?
No, it was the move. They moved my case to a USC local office.
David, yeah.
Is that good or bad, and why?
Thanks, David, for jumping all over the place with us. That's awesome. All right. So, Mark, I'm sorry. Did you have a question?
Marriage therapist says that notice of intent to deny annoyed. My dad was asked to submit my birth certificate because they said it wasn't there when he filed his N-400.
Notice of intent to deny. My dad was asked to submit my birth certificate because they said it wasn't there when he filed his N-400. So, man, I hope what this sounds like to me is, and I could be completely off on this. I'm not, because I can't really tell who's applying here, but annoyed is a notice of intent to deny, and dad, because they said it wasn't there when he filed his
When he
N400.
filed his N400.
So
right?
marriage therapist might be trying to get a benefit, perhaps. I'm not sure. I don't know what the question is actually,
Yeah,
and I don't know. I'm not going
I'm-
to try to stab around it because
I'm puzzled by it as well.
yeah. But it's giving the sins of not the sins, sorry, but just the omissions of a previous filing or a previous case is kind of
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for? Like dwindling down or carrying over to another case where there's a relationship.
Right, which is why he was starting with, you're right, not a sin, but the sin of the father visiting the son.
Right.
Right, the biblical. Right.
Correct. Now we do see this, guys, and I don't know where marriage therapist 112 is from or where dad is from, but I do have a video and it says sort of like common Filipino immigration mistakes. And one of the common immigration, and again, I said Filipino because we have a lot of Filipino clients but not all. It just doesn't, it's not just Filipino clients, but it's when a parent does not list the child on the N400 application or does not claim a child during when they're trying to immigrate to the United States, even though they have a child. So I'm not sure if that's related to this, but it probably is. So marriage therapist, if you'd like to elaborate on that or give us a call for an appointment so we can analyze it, happy to do so.
Okay, Paula here, not a question, just a comment. 34 months processing for U.S. citizen, filing for married children, and then a bunch of high tens.
34 months processing for U.S. citizen, filing for married children.
Okay.
Yeah, is that the current processing times? I mean, that seems like a long time. Filing for what, married children? Oh, married. No, it's not. It's not a long time.
Married children.
Yeah, that's short. I just thought maybe children.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. If that's a high 10 for you, it's a high 10 for us.
Yep. If it's a high 10 for you, it's a high 10 for us. That's right. It's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah. Okay. We are about 4 minutes out. I'm going to grab a couple more questions here on our Facebook. Rosalie says, I have a friend, U.S. citizen, petitioning for her husband, but she owes the IRS. Will it affect his petition? The answer is no. It will not affect the filing of an I-130 petition. If she hasn't filed her taxes, it may affect later on in the stages of the affidavit of support. That's not what you said, though. You said she owes the IRS. She should definitely get on a payment plan.
Yeah.
If it comes up, and start making small payments back to the IRS. But not being employed, having filed bankruptcy, owing taxes, all these financial things, it does not impact just the mere filing of an I-130 petition, a standalone I-130 petition. Okay. If you are filing an I-130 petition along with a green card application, then yes, you may have some issues if you have to submit an affidavit of support and you don't have the income requirements because you're not employed, then you'd have to get a joint sponsor. But these other things, like, oh, my credit's bad, or I filed for bankruptcy, these do not impact these processes. So hopefully that helps. I like to emphasize this because I don't want people to wait until they get a job before they file a standalone I-130 petition. A standalone I-130 petition can take, a year and a half. So don't waste the time that's already going to go, because every day goes, right, by not filing. You don't have to have a job, but again, make sure that you know that you're going to have a joint sponsor if you're still unemployed. But Rosalie, hopefully that answered your question because I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there with that.
All right, let's see. Questions here. Another travel question. I send my I-485 form and I gave biometrics without travel document. I travel out of the United. Can I travel out of the United States and return?
That's a no.
All right.
Why would you want to do that? That's if you file a green card application. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound.
No, it's okay. Sometimes they have to hear it bluntly so that they will.
That came out a little bit aggressively. And
Mestes09, did you hear that? No. Okay. Well, he wants to know. Mestes wants to know. Trust
okay,
me.
the answer is no. No, don't do that, guys.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Do not file
Right?
a
Am I
green
right,
card
Mestes?
application.
Even if it was bold and blunt, you wanted to know. Now
Don't
you
do that. Just all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna not expound on that
Yeah.
and move on to Charlene's question because
Yeah.
she seems like she really wants us to answer it. I'm sure
Okay.
all of you guys really want
Yeah.
us to answer it, but this will be the last question of Good Friday,
Yeah.
Easter
while she's-
weekend, Passover.
While she's feeling that, Mestes, do not. Don't do that. Okay.
All right, Charlene. Hi, for filing, and this is, guys, listen up because this is a great question. Hi, for filing N400, should I put separate employment if I work on and off in a job? For example, I used to work in an employer with an employer last March 2019 until June 2019 and went back 3/20/2020 to 3. Okay, so you're doing these very short periods with this particular company, and there's a question, right? The question is, employment history. This is for everybody to just please listen up on the N400. This is critical. The question is, what is your employment history? So put your employment history down. You are asking about these short periods of time, and then you worked there, and then you didn't. You had a break, and then you worked there again. Absolutely put it all down because that is your employment history. Do not leave anything out of the N400 application, guys. All right. Yay.
Okay.
It is 1 p.m. It is time for lunch.
It is time.
I am
for
feeling,
lunch.
aren't you just feeling on fire about this live today?
Absolutely.
And
absolutely. It's a gloomy day here in Virginia Beach, but it's a Good Friday. So we're happy. See what I did there? Okay, everyone.
Guys,
we will see you.
Follow us on the socials. Thank you so much for amazing questions. We do 2 thumbs up after each of our lives.
We will see you, and you're very welcome. Charlene.
Oh, guys, we will not see you next week because we are going to be on spring break with some of our kids.
That's
Actually,
right.
all of them.
And we will also be at a legal conference as well.
Legal conference in Tampa. Yep.
In Tampa. So
we take our kids and we make them go to the legal conference, and they can do their vacation, and then we go to our legal conference.
we do it together.
We do the best that we can, guys.
All right.
All right.
We will see you guys not next Friday, 2 Fridays from now. Okay.
2 Fridays from now.
2
All right.
weeks.
Take care, guys.
Have a great week.
Bye.